Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. Week 3 is done. If you listened to last week's episode and you followed my picks, I went 5-0. I absolutely crushed it. If you're watching this is a new background. I'm currently at my lovely girlfriend's place. We both have COVID, so that's a lot of fun. And if you hear some construction noise behind you, the apartment directly behind me is getting renovated, so that should be fun. This week, though, I have Keegan on. We will do what we usually do. We'll recap all the Week 3 games. We'll do our pick-em, see where the conversation leads us. But other than that, lots of injuries happened this week. I'll try to touch on all of them. But instead of doing the notes that I usually do, because there was a lot of them, as we talk about the games, I'll talk about the injuries. But yeah, without further ado, let's get to the recap with Keegan. My next guest on, one of my buddies for a while now, but he is a Bills fan. I have seen him at the lowest of lows with, I don't even know who, the E.J. Manuel, the Nathan Peterman years of Bills quarterbacks. Now he's riding high. He's at the top. He got knocked down a peg this week by my Dolphins, but welcome to the pod, Keegan Hewitt. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, thanks. Finally on. Years of, not years, I guess, just weeks of postponing it, but
there we go.
I'm here.
Happy it finally happened. So we'll start with what we watched last night, as always. Cowboys, Giants. What was the final score of that game? 23-16 or something?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm pulling up the scores on my phone. I should have had this ready already. I
got 23-16. Yeah.
I was right. Shouldn't have doubted myself. Should have just went with it. The Cowboys defense is really fucking good. I guess Parsons had like a flu game. Should have looked at that before betting him to get one single sack, because Daniel Jones got sacked a shit ton. Micah Parsons didn't even have a tackle in the game. Yeah. Cowboys defense is good. Their offense still looks What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I kind of have the same thoughts on that. Like Micah Parsons was kind of just living in that backfield for free there. At MetLife, might just have to start renting that out to other pass rushers. Cowboys are what they're going to be. Like, they just always show these random blips of, oh, they could be okay. And then let's just wait a couple weeks. Then they're back down to earth. The sky is falling. Cowboys are just that okay team. Like, I wouldn't expect too much out of them. And the Giants,
no.
The Giants are.
I like Brian Dable. That's about it.
You can see they're building something.
He's building a culture, and that's what you need from the Giants right now. That team was a complete rebuild, complete overhaul from the last regime. They're playing guys who, I think they're Richie James is their wide receiver 2 right now, which kind of nuts, but hey, it's working for them. They're 2-1. One other note, Sterling Shepard tore his ACL. That sucks because he seemed to be having a breakout year. He was their wide receiver 1 as of right now. So that's too bad, but these are two teams that won't matter by late December.
Yeah,
in my opinion anyway. Jumping all the way back now, Thursday night football, Steelers versus Browns. It was more exciting than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it wasn't a completely dead game, but who cares, really?
Yeah, with these teams was kind of expected. Like, it's going to be tough in Pittsburgh since they just drafted Pickett and having Trubisky there. Like, they gave him a captain. He's a captain too, right? It's going to be hard for just week 4. You're going to throw Pickett right to the Wolves. Maybe if
I think Pittsburgh is doing the right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh is doing the right thing. They're easing him in. Because Trubisky's not it. He's just not. I feel like there's too many playmakers on the offense to not be somewhat respectable. Also, sorry again for the sawing that is happening, whatever that is in the background, because how bad does it sound right now?
I can barely hear it.
Okay, that's not bad then.
I can hear like something.
Only other note. Yeah, only other note I have, Nick Chubb is phenomenal, top 3 running back in football. I think we all knew this already. George Pickens had a phenomenal catch. He'll get worked in at some point. I think he's really pissed off at Trubisky. Makes sense. I would be too.
Oh, absolutely.
Next game up, we get Lions versus Vikings. Lions 24, Vikings 28. I was really impressed with the Lions to start this game. I think the Lions are going to be a frisky team. I think they'll probably just miss the playoffs based off what I'm seeing right now. Good for the Vikings for getting a comeback here, because I didn't think they could do it, but they pulled it off.
Yeah, this is definitely, the Vikings brought home, because this was on the road. We've seen what Kirk Cousins is like on the road. Just a complete disaster of a quarterback. But when nobody's watching that 1 o'clock game, Kirk Cousins is going to do some good. And this is just typical Detroit, right? Like, this is until you break that mold, no one's going to take you seriously. The offense does look good. Sucks Amon-Ra got hurt halfway through the game.
And I guess we'll see
what happens there. And Swift being hurt too, but Jamal Williams is good enough to take over for now. Yeah. But that's another team that if they can just stay in games all year, that's got to be a good season for them.
The one of their bright spots on defense this season has been Jeff Okudah finally living up to his pre-draft billing. He's allowed 36 yards through 3 weeks so far. The 3 receivers he's been primarily covering, Devonta Smith, who just went off this week, Scary Terry, who's phenomenal, and Justin Jefferson this week. So hopefully him and Hutchinson, they have something to build around on that defense, something to look forward to the Lions. The Vikings, this should have been a win for them. They got the win. Wasn't as impressive, but
just a bit.
They're still good, but but yeah, we'll move on to next game. Keep it moving here. Next game up, Ravens, Patriots. Ravens 37, Patriots 26. I'll let you start with this one.
Lamar MVP as of right now. The way
there you go.
Like, this is one way to be in a contract year, right? Like, sucks. He's probably going to end up being tagged anyways.
Yeah.
New England's still a good defense. That Baltimore defense, though, kind of shaky.
Looking very suspect.
It's not looking good. Like, that's not a good passing offense for the Patriots. And what did Devontae Parker get? He got 156 through the air.
I think so. Yeah, he broke 150.
Like, out of all receivers to do that, soon enough.
Yeah, Devontae Parker, who gets
me and you to go play DB over there.
Devontae Parker to go off the 150.
This is going to be
Devontae Parker to go off
Baltimore a year.
Yeah. The Pats, I've been surprised by them. They look decent anyways. I thought they were going to be pretty bad, but I mean, they've hung around in games. The defense is still impressive. Bills doing a great job. The offense looks terrible, and now it's going to look even worse with Mac Jones, I guess, high ankle sprain or whatever that is. Those are going to sound kind of bad. Those pictures of him going off the field screaming like he just got shot.
I feel like that's a little ridiculous.
It's so funny. You always get pictures every year of crying Mac Jones, and sucks it had to happen from an injury, but yeah. I think the Ravens are still a good team. Defensive issues. The Pats, let's see what Brian Hoyer can do. Maybe Bailey Zappi can get some plays, but should be rough treading from them for the next couple weeks. Next game up, we have New Orleans Saints versus Carolina Panthers. Saints 14, Panthers 22. Story of this game, Saints had 3 turnovers, a blocked kick, and a missed kick. The Panthers just seemed like they got lucky. They got all the turnovers. Jameis is a bozo. He has some mind-numbing, dumb things that he does, but again, overall, nothing kind of game. This is I'm disappointed by the Saints early so far.
Yeah, me too. I was expecting at least Jameis to put up some yards, but this is just he's brutal. Like if they can just get a competent quarterback in there, like those are good wide receivers, and they can probably win some games with that good defense.
Yeah,
but this, I don't know. What are they going to end up like? 7-10, 8-9, something like that.
Probably.
Who knows? Like they could win next week, win the next 3 games, and I wouldn't be surprised, or they can lose the next 3, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I'm not going to jump off the Saints bandwagon yet. I still think that there's a good team there. They just need to figure it out because there's enough talent everywhere on that team for them to not lose to the Panthers, who a team where Baker looks fucking terrible. Baker looks like a bottom 5 quarterback in the league right now, and he has weapons around him, and he looks fucking terrible. But that's about the Panthers got lucky this one. Tons of turnovers, tons of weird shit happening. But next game up, another boring game. Texans 20, Bears 23. Who cares?
Did anybody watch this game?
No.
Justin Fields. I'll go out on a limb and say that right now. Even with no help at the receiver position, he's got 2 good backs. This guy is not a good thrower at all. Like what was the criticism of him coming out was like telegraphing his throws. Well, you can't even see it because the guy doesn't throw. Maybe there's a reason he doesn't throw.
Yeah. The stat of the day for Justin Fields through 3 weeks, how many completions does he have, Keegan?
It's got to be in the 20s. Like it's got to be something like stupid low like that.
23.
Yeah, that's
through 3 weeks he has 23 completions. So I'm stealing this from Pardon My Take because they did the research for me because they have money. I don't. Yeah. But that hasn't happened since 1978. 1978, when passing the football was still an afterthought because running the football was the way to go. So Bears are going back to their roots, playing run it down your throat football, but it's not working. I think it might be time to use the B word for Justin Fields. He is not looking good at all.
No.
Bears staying Texans, but again, the Bears won this game. Texans, what the fuck are you doing?
That's enough that they just gave it right to them.
It's weird because Davis Mills is, let's just say he's okay. Damian Pierce looked good. Brandon Cooks is still a wide receiver. Laremy Tunsil's your left tackle. Those are pieces, anyways, of an offense. That's not great, but the Bears are terrible. The Bears are a very bad team, and the Texans losing to an already very bad team. The Texans are probably the worst team in football right now, which...
Yeah. It's not a complete disaster, though, which was what was expected. But that was pretty much
they have stuff.
Roquan Smith show.
Mm-hmm. They got stuff to build around, but yeesh. Talk about another boring game. Colts 20, Chiefs 17.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little nicely about the Colts to start off. I think they do have a top 5 defense in the league. They've been very consistent this year, even without Shaq Leonard. I'm just pulling it up right now, but yeah, they've let up 20 points, 24 points, and 17 points. That's pretty damn good for the guy who they don't even have the leader of their defense out there yet. Mm-hmm. Offense, on the other hand, might be bottom 5 in the league. It's brutal to watch what they're doing. Jonathan Taylor can't do anything because the offense can't throw the ball. Yeah, it was not a fun game to watch. I can't believe the Chiefs lost this, but here we are.
That just seemed like a game the Chiefs were just way too cute with it. Like you play this game 9 more times, I think the Chiefs win it comfortably. Some missed kicks with their backup kicker. Definitely just a one-off game for KC. They're still probably the kings of the AFC. They have been for some time. They're just a
that's the thing.
just a week 3 game.
Yeah. Like the Chiefs are missing Harrison Butker, who's their Pro Bowl kicker, and the Chiefs did miss an extra point and a 35-yard field goal, I think, and that ended up being the difference in the game. So tough loss. Again, shouldn't have happened to this Colts team, but the AFC South is so bad. I still think the Colts can turn it around, but it's not looking good at this point. Moving on. Eagles 24, Commanders 8. Take it away, Keegan.
Yeah, the Eagles are looking legit. That's for damn sure. That the only thing that gives me a pause for thought is they haven't really played the strongest opponents yet, right? That's like they gave up a lot of points to Detroit, even though they were ahead. I think DeAndre Swift they had a crazy game on the ground. It's the Vikings on the road, Kirk Cousins in prime time. Like he was like outside of Justin Jefferson, his second target that game was Darius Slay. And then Carson Wentz, you knew this guy wasn't going to do anything going back, like just playing against his former team. This guy is it's so bad. Yeah.
I have the stat here. He had 23 yards in the first half, 23 passing yards. Yeah. I think there was a graphic too that came up too, and it was Eagles passing yards 300, and then the Commanders 1. Like astronomically bad. It's unbelievable. Eagles, I think they're the second best team in football right now. That roster looks great head to toe. We got to talk about Jalen Hurts because he's right with Allen and Lamar for MVP right now. He might be a superstar. It's been, again, they haven't really played anyone, but right now Jalen Hurts is playing like a top 3 quarterback in the league right now, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the Eagles have a weakness at all.
Nope.
Like if you can't really shut down both Brown and Smith, and if you somehow take them out, Dallas Goedert's still there, and then they have a fantastic running game. Like this is we'll see how they play in the playoffs because Hurts didn't look that great against Tampa, but Tampa also has a fantastic defense. We'll see going forward against some tougher competition, but I think they have an easy schedule.
I think I do remember them having one of the easier schedules in the league, but until someone beats them, they're a top 3 team in the league right now. It's crazy, their jump, and we'll move on to my favorite game of the afternoon. Bills 19, Dolphins 21. Needless to say, the sun was a huge factor, but I'll let you talk because I have my points I'm going to say, but you can go.
I'll start off with something nice about the Dolphins, that the Dolphins are good. The Dolphins are a good team. So all the hype in the offseason from the Dolphins fans is warranted. Tua looks good. I'll give him credit. I've found, maybe I'm just biased, I thought Buffalo lost this game more than Miami won this game with the amount of opportunities that they blew.
I won't disagree.
How do you have 40 minutes of time on possession? How do you have over 400 yards of offense and only score 19 points? I thought it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds from the Bills.
2 touchdowns, baby. Yeah.
So it's a good win for Miami for sure. After like the past few years, anyways, of Allen just kind of doing what he wants. I'm not going to go and just blame the sun because the Bills shut him out last year in week 2.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the sun was there last year. It's there this year. It definitely did play a factor, but I'm not going to just be like, oh, they lost because the sun. Miami was playing in the heat too.
Yeah. It was funny because there were Bills fans on Twitter trying to put in a workplace violation that the sun was too hot and the Bills should not have been allowed to play. Whatever. That's fucking ridiculous. But
I agree.
Yeah, you guys were banged up going into the game. We knew this. That was the built-in excuse if we were to win this game, and now the excuses just kept piling on from some fans. You've been good about it. I feel like we can talk shit, but we both know what's real at the end of the day. I still think the Bills are a better team. We played you guys hurt. We played you guys very hurt. Like the fact that you mentioned the time of possession. It was 40 minutes to 20 for the Bills. Playing 40 minutes, being on the field the entire time, you're fucking tired. And you weren't running the ball well. The Bills were not running the ball well. So they had to throw a shit ton. Those receivers were running a lot, and they all got fucking tired. And is what it is. I'm super happy. It showed that we can compete with you guys as one of the top teams in the league. It solidifies what I thought of us all along, that we're going to be a playoff team. Now let's keep these wins together. We got short turnaround game, Bills Thursday night. I'm really hoping if we start the season 4-0, we are Super Bowl contenders. No one's stopping us. Our slate of games after that is looking really nice.
Yeah, it definitely helps coming third in the division last year with all those injuries. Now it's a bit softer schedule this year. But yeah, going back to that, I guess like the game plan was kind of tire out the defense, but maybe that just kind of backfired on McDermott and company when Allen threw the ball 63 times. And with having like the third stringers come in, because these 300-pound linemen were just dropping like flies. I don't blame the Bills' offense is just too Josh Allen centric, right? Like if he's not running for first downs all the time, like it's just easy for the other teams to play zone. Just sit back and then just try and get these guys to beat us. And
that's why
the injuries on the defense. I only found like one play was the issue, and that was the pass to Waddle on 3rd and 22. Other than that, I can't say
that broke the game.
Yeah.
But with your run game too, you guys drafted James Cook for a reason. I think he deserves more carries because Motor's good. He's fine. He's proven he can't run the ball between the tackles, and that's what you guys need. Give it to James Cook maybe a little bit more. Happy he didn't see the ball that much yesterday. But Dolphins won. First in the AFC, first in the AFC East. It's looking good right now. I'm riding high. We'll move on to the team that we're going to play this Thursday. Bengals 27, Jets 12. It was a Bengals get-right game.
Yeah.
They did it. They played a bad Jets team. Not much to really say. The Bengals did their job. The Jets, I will say, they had 12 points. All 12 of those were field goals. So they drove the ball fairly easily. But then when you have Joe Flacco and then Garrett Wilson getting hurt, you can't score in the red zone. So his Bengals defense isn't very good. So I'm expecting fireworks Thursday night. That's all I know.
Yeah, Flacco, not elite. Breaking news. But with the Jets going forward, very curious to see how Zach Wilson does this year because there's a lot of good.
I hope it's a steep cliff down from Flacco. I think that would be hilarious. If old Joe Flacco, who's looking serviceable, and then you put in Zach Wilson and he's immediately worse. I think it would be hilarious. But
there's some good weapons.
Yeah, not much to talk about this game. That's the thing. The Jets are a well-constructed roster. It's just they don't have a quarterback. Yeah. And I think that's the entire problem. I think if they had a quarterback, I think this team would be, I don't want to say very dangerous, but they'd be dangerous if they had Josh Allen, that offense would be very, very, very good. But I think any offense with Josh Allen would be very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So we'll move on. Next game up. 0-3 Raiders, 22, Tennessee Titans, 24. Another who cares type of game.
Another game that did anyone really watch except for the last 2 minutes on Red Zone?
Derrick Henry played pretty well. He got his yards, got his touchdown. This was the Mac Hollins game though, former Dolphin Mac Hollins. He absolutely went off. I think he had 150 yards also. I'm checking that right now. 158 and a touchdown. Great for Mac Hollins. I loved him when he was on the Dolphins, but the Raiders, man, you have Devontae Adams, you have Darren Waller. I know Hunter Renfrow had 2 fumbles last week, but he's still good.
Yeah.
It's 0-3. This can't happen, man. And
no, it's not looking great, especially in that division. But I felt like they blew that one against Arizona. That's one they should have had. And
100%.
then somewhat kept it close against the Chargers. But it's still a good team. Titans, I don't know. These 2 teams, they're good, but that's kind of it.
Like, this is what you expect from the Titans. They grind up the game. They played good defense against the Raiders team. They did enough to win, but that was it. I'm still. It's a boring game.
Not going to scare anyone in January. Like, if they make it.
Not at all. Next game up, the shocker of the week 3 games, in my opinion. Jags 38, Chargers 10. The Chargers are cursed. I think that's all we have to say. They will never be a good team, unfortunately. Doesn't matter what they do, doesn't matter who they draft, doesn't matter who they trade for, who they sign. It'll come falling apart because the injuries they have right now, I'm going off the top of my head here, but Rashawn Slater tore his bicep. He's going to be out for the year. Keenan Allen's been banged up all year. I think he's tracking to play this week, but we'll see. Corey Linsley, their center, he's been hurt. Joey Bosa hurt his groin. J.C. Jackson, their number 1 corner, who they gave a ton of money to, he played 1 week. He's missed 2. He's up in the air. Basically all of their – and Justin Herbert. He had his rib cartilage injury, so he's banged up. But every good player that the Chargers have is seemingly hurt. So –
unless they just got to break the curse, man. Like, how do you get blessed with a talent like Justin Herbert and just get your pants pulled down by the Jaguars at home? Trevor Lawrence looked great.
Trevor Lawrence is exactly who we thought he was. He's a generational talent. He's going to be one of the better quarterbacks in football when it's all said and done at the end of this year. The Jags look good. They have that stability that they needed. Trevor Lawrence looked great. Christian Kirk, I said it last week, he is well deserving of all that money that they paid him right now. Huge shout out to James Robinson, who it looked like he was just completely out of favor with Urban Meyer, and then he got hurt. But right now he's a top 5 running back in football, which great for him. But
undrafted guy,
yeah, Chargers. You can't get embarrassed in this game. It's just if you're a team who's an expected Super Bowl contender, unacceptable to lose the Jags by 28. Yeah. Herbert needs to do. I know he was banged up. He just needs to do better. He's not a winner right now. Hasn't proven he's a winner. When that spotlight shines bright, sometimes he doesn't show it. He always has his splash throws, but I need to see him perform at the highest level. People might say, oh, the Raiders game last year. Yeah, they lost that game last year, so who cares? He didn't win. He needs to start winning football games, and this team should be good enough to do it, but they play the Texans next week. They should kick the shit out of them. If they don't win that game decisively, I'm not out on them because obviously they are hurt, but they got to figure some stuff out.
Absolutely.
We'll move on. Another bad versus bad game. Atlanta Falcons 27, Seattle Seahawks 23. I think the Falcons did exactly.
I thought they would. Like throughout the 3 games.
I've been saying this for weeks now. The Falcons are a free team.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be weird to play. Like they have Cordell Patterson is so weird back there as a running back, but it's working for them. Kyle Pitts finally got going. Marcus Mariota's weirdly okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a bottom 5 quarterback in the league right now, but he's decent enough.
He's good enough to keep you till you get your guy. but you
Yeah.
can't have any
So
expectations with Marcus Mariota as a quarterback.
no. And that's the thing. If the Falcons are looking decent on offense with Marcus Mariota, if they get a capable franchise starter in there, I'm excited to see what Arthur Smith can do with his offense. I think he's a very creative coach, and he's shown with just kind of what he has to work with this year. So Seattle, on the other hand, who cares? They're just not a good team. They're boring to watch. Geno Smith can dink and dunk. They'll try to run it down your throat, but Pete Carroll's not a good coach. They're not a good. This just isn't a good team. It's boring.
Yeah. Like a couple of like good weapons, some decent running backs, but Geno Smith, like, congrats on the Broncos choking that game. Like you did nothing.
No, but
like you are.
We'll move on. Yeah, we'll move on. It's a boring game. Doesn't matter. Next game up: Rams Cardinals. Rams 20, Cardinals 12. I don't know what to think of the Rams. The Rams might be 2-1, but they have not looked good.
No, it's definitely a weird team. Like, Cooper Kupp's a stud. I think we all know that. I don't think last year was an outlier. Like, this guy is just legitimately good. Yeah, Stafford didn't even throw a touchdown pass. Like, Kupp had to run it in. Yeah, there's no like threat in the run game either. Like, Cam Akers 12 carries for 61 yards, and like this guy has no burst. Not really great in the pass pro either. Bobby Wagner looks like a shell of himself. Like that for 5 years, that might be looking tough. But Aaron Donald can still just cause havoc on his own. Doesn't matter, double team him. He's still going to get there. Yeah. And obviously, Jalen Ramsey's great too. There's still a lot of talent on this team. They'll be fine. And the Cardinals side,
but they're just not special. The Rams aren't special this year.
No, they don't look special. No, they don't have that wow factor that they did last year.
No. Yeah, like this is a game where I expected the Rams to win this one. I thought it would be a little more high scoring. The Cardinals, man, I hope that when Hopkins comes back, their offense hits like another level. But it is.
Like he's a good blocker too for wide receiver because of his size. So that'll help the run game a bit. But Marquise Brown's not going to help.
Run game is struggling.
Like, have you ever heard of like Dort, like the wide receiver 2 before the year even started?
No, and he's been fantastic. I've been very impressed by him so far. But it's just where did he come from?
Yeah, and it's Kyler Murray, one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. Like, just I don't know. This Cardinals team's not good, and then they got Cliff Kingsbury as their coach, so you can't really expect much when he's there.
No, breaking news text from insider Cameron Martin. Jets have placed George Fant on IR, so that's tough. That really sucks for the Jets, but they were already bad, so they can just be more bad now. But Cardinals are nothing. I don't think they're good. This just kind of proves it. This kind of proved to me what I thought of both teams. Cardinals, bad team, not bad, but just they're not good this year. And the Rams aren't special. Those were literally my 2 notes from the game. Cardinals are not good. Rams aren't special.
Yeah.
God, there was a lot of boring games. Okay, moving on to another boring game. Packers 14, Buccaneers 12. I'm worried about this. I mean, the Buccaneers do have a very good defense. Yes. I'm worried about the Packers offense, though. They have not looked good whatsoever so far. They got points against a Bears team, they're a very, very bad Bears team, and have looked anemic since.
Yeah. Like the wide receivers, Dobbs looks good. I'll give him that.
Dobbs looks great. Yeah.
But I guess like Jones and Dillon are like good threats out of to catch out of the backfield. But these wide receivers aren't scaring anybody. That defense is fantastic though for both these teams.
Yeah.
Green Bay definitely looks like a great defense. I think just that week 1, that's like typical Green Bay week 1. I'm not going to look too much into that. The Bucks, like, who are they throwing to, right? Like having Evans, Godwin, even Julio looked great week 1. So right now they look out of sync because just no one's there. But if they get clicking on offense with that defense, they're definitely a threat in the NFC.
Yeah, I think the Bucks, once they get healthy, once they get all their weapons back on offense, they'll be, I mean, I already think they're one of the best teams in the NFC. And then once they get their guys back and that offense gets clicking, they'll be good to go. But that's the thing about the Packers. They don't have guys who are really injured right now, especially skill position players, unless you want to count Sammy Watkins, but I'm not. It is worrisome. The offense looks out of sync. It looks average. They need to figure something out. Aaron Jones needs to be involved way more because I have him in fantasy. He only had 3 fantasy points for me, which Aaron Jones is the best offensive player on your team outside of Aaron Rodgers, obviously, but he needs to get the ball more. They need to figure it out. Both of these teams are very good. There was a slugfest. We'll move over to the Sunday night snooze fest. Fucking Christ, man. Broncos 11, Niners 10. I am so happy I went to bed at halftime.
I think you're not alone in that category. This is the Broncos have to just be a massive disappointment. Like Nathaniel Hackett's a joke as a head coach. Like this guy's a Walmart greeter. Like I don't even know if he can do that well. Like they hired him just so they can get Aaron Rodgers, and they didn't even get him.
No.
And like they're trying to let Russ cook, but like Russell Wilson is cooking like microwavable food. Like this is not no Michelin star cook. Like maybe like he's cooking Hungry Man's, and that might be too nice. I think it's like the little microwavable pizzas. That's what Russ is cooking right now. If you wanted to cook, you came here, and this is what you're serving up: is 11-10 games against Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy.
And I don't understand it too, especially from Denver. Okay, the Niners have a really good defense. Everyone knows this. It's fine. You expect any offense to play them, it will struggle. But this offense, like Javonte Williams is great. Cortland Sutton is great. Jerry Jeudy is a very good wide receiver too, still, but he has a ton of potential. I don't know what the fuck this offense is. Like, it should not be this bad.
You watch their games, you don't know like what their plan is. Like
that's the thing. It doesn't seem like they have one. They're completely out of sorts. Again, they need to get it sorted, but right now they're 2-1, second in the AFC West. But I will say the Broncos defense has looked good. They have been solid.
Yeah.
And if that offense just literally goes up one notch, I think the Broncos will be a pretty good team. But God, something needs to happen now.
They don't look a good threat, that's for sure. Like there's no game.
No.
Like if you're like a fan of a good team and you're playing the Broncos, you shouldn't be scared. Like there shouldn't be like anything frightening about this team.
No. And then we'll talk about the team that just lost to this team that we've been shitting all over, the Niners. Jimmy G, congrats. He is back as the Niners quarterback. 18 for 29, 211 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Congrats. The Niners offense is back.
Typical Jimmy G stat line right there. I know there's some Niners fans out there that like to brag about winning games all the time, and they have a winner at quarterback. I don't know. They don't seem to be too happy with him right now.
No.
Like they can still run the ball effectively. Like it doesn't matter who's in the backfield. Like they'll go pick up the guy off the street there. He's going to go put up 100 yards on like 13 carries. Very good defense, though. Very good defense are going to be in a lot of games. But
yeah, their defense is elite right now, and that's what they need, and that's what they've always needed when Jimmy G is the quarterback. Huge injury, though, for them. Trent Williams, future Hall of Famer left tackle, all-pro. He's going to be out for the next 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury. that offensive line is already pretty shaky. It's going to be some rough treading ahead for the Niners. I still think they'll be okay because their team and their coaching staff is still talented enough to overcome that loss. It's still a huge loss. I wouldn't mind if the Niners kind of just sucked and didn't make the playoffs this year, seeing is that the Dolphins do have their first round pick. But yeah, this was a boring game. I still think highly of both of these teams, but right now it's just oof. It is tough.
Not pretty.
No. That does it for the recap. God, yeah, they're really.
It was a terrible.
I was typing out my notes yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it was okay." But yeah, going through, there was a lot of smelly games. But we'll move on to the pick'em. So as always, we give a spread favorite, spread dog, an over and under, and a money line dog. We can't pick from the same games. The last 2 weeks, I've almost picked from the same. Actually, I did 1 week, and then last week I almost did it again. I'm going to do my best not to do it this time. You have any questions before you get into it?
No, let's get it.
Okay. As my guest, I'll give you the first pick. So you are up.
And am I going spread favorite?
You can go wherever the board wants. Take your most surefire bet right now.
This is like, I hate playing numbers this big, but this just almost seems too obvious. And it's Green Bay at home, minus 10.5 against Brian Hoyer and the New England Patriots. It's a high number, but I can't see how New England's going to score points here. If they do, they'll maybe get a touchdown and a field goal. I think this is a game where the offense could get going for Green Bay, seeing how like the Green Bay defense has a great chance at takeaways here. Get them back on the field and get clicking. So I'm going to take, and they're at home as well, which I like even more. So I'll take Green Bay.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, except for the fact that the total for this game is set at 39.5. If the under hits and the Pats still lose by 10.5, I think that would be incredible. But the Pats have a good defense. Let's see what they can do. Packers should roll. Okay, I guess I'm up next, and I'm going to go under 50 Seattle, Detroit. Again, Seattle's a bad team, bad defense. Detroit's offense has looked really good. I think this is just way too high of a number for both of these teams. Seattle offense isn't very good. We've seen what they've done the last few weeks. The Lions offense is hurt now. DeAndre Swift is going to be out for the next 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure. And Amon-Ra hasn't been disclosed. I think he's questionable right now. So we'll see. The offense is still banged up. 50 is a lot of points. I just think that the under should happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is a very high number, especially for a terrible Seattle team.
Mm-hmm. You are up.
Trying to find the spread dog I like here. Not a pretty weak.
The spread dogs were tough. Actually, no, the spread dogs were easy for me. The favorites were tough for me. Yeah. I think there's a lot of good options for plus favored bets that I think they could actually win.
Spread dog. I don't know if you have this team, and no, I'm not taking that game. No, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna take the Titans plus 3.5. I'm getting a nice hook there, even though they're on the road. This is a Titans team that's pretty good at taking the ball away. Matt Ryan's going to face some pressure with a good defensive line from Tennessee. Like, as soon as Simmons is going to be in the backfield, you already know that Matt Ryan's going to be shriveled up and ready to take the sack.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a great passing offense, and even if they do, guys like Kevin Byard and Hooker as their safeties are great ball hawks. So division game, usually close, lower total, and I'm getting the hook at plus 3.5. I'm going to take the Titans.
Yeah, I think that's solid. I think both of these teams, I don't really know what to think of for the most part. Should be low scoring. Could definitely see the Titans covering that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with my money line dog, and I'm gonna take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Chiefs this week. I'm shocked that the Chiefs are -2 favorites right now, especially because the Bucs are at home. Uh, yeah, I think the Bucs really good defense still. They're getting Mike Evans back. They'll probably get a few more of their wide receivers. I know Julio has been questionable. I know Godwin's been up in the air, but getting Mike Evans back is the huge factor for this game. And they're at home. I don't know. I think this Bucs team is really good, and if you can give me them plus money on the money line, I will take that every time.
Yeah, the home dog too. Maybe a repeat of the Super Bowl. You would hope so. Just keep getting pressure. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, no, it's solid. That's for sure. You are back up. You need your over, under, and the money line dog.
Over and under. I'm actually going to take the game you just took. I'm going to take under 45.5 in Tampa and KC. A lot of big weather storms. I can't take it? No? Okay.
No, yeah, can't take from the same games.
Okay. Give me.
But the weather, though, it's a good call.
Yeah. There you go. Free pick. Maybe this seems like an obvious under here for a game that nobody's going to watch. Under 39, Bears Giants.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
This screams like, I don't know, 2017. Is that a max there? Maybe we'll get a 17-13 game. Just no one's going to watch this game. You're going to see it happen. Scott Hansen's going to see it in the auto box. This, to me, has under.
Yeah, no, it's
written all over it.
Yeah, two bad teams playing against each other. 2-2-1 teams, though. Should note that, which is
two winners right there.
Wild.
There
we go. Two of the best teams in football technically right now. But yeah, that's a game under 39. Boring. Let me see. I'm gonna go with my over then, and I'm gonna go over 44 Chargers Houston. So I'm expecting the Chargers to get some weapons, or I don't know. This is just a get right game for the Chargers. It's a game where they should be pissed off after how they played last week and just kick the shit out of the Texans. And I think this Chargers defense that is now banged up should give up a decent amount of points. Like 44 is still a low number for a Chargers offense that should be one of the most explosive in the league. So if the Chargers can get me 28 and 28-17, that sounds like a good final score to me.
Yeah, definitely. No need an over. All right. My over. I'm going to go over 48.5 in Jacksonville and Philadelphia. I know it's, I think
interesting. I like that.
Ball. Eagles can move the ball, I think, probably against anybody. If the Jags are a good team, like if they can just put up a couple touchdowns here, I can see this going over. I think if people respected the Jaguars, this total would be in the 50s. Maybe this is just kind of the line sitting at, well, the Jags are still the Jags. We're going to have it a bit lower. Eagles are a good defense. That's what kind of scares me about this total, but I'll go over here.
Yeah. I think I also looked at that line too. If the Jags offense is it's been clicking the last 2 weeks anyways, if they do what they've been doing, I mean, they've looked good. So If they do it against the Eagles team, Eagles should score at will like they've been doing. So 48.5, definitely a doable number. Okay. Next up, you know what? Because we have not taken from this game, and I'm going to go Thursday night football. I'm going to go with my spread dog, Dolphins plus 3.5 versus the Bengals. This might be a trap line. I am completely fine with that. I think 3.5 points is ridiculous. If you're giving me that field goal and a half point, I think that's quite a lot. For a Dolphins team they've just been better. We're 3-0. We're the number one team in the AFC. The Bengals have looked like shit. We're tired. We're coming off short week. We got to fly up to them, but Dolphins plus 3.5 every day of the week.
And don't forget about Tua's back. Really bad back.
Yeah. It was a scary injury, but he powered through it. We don't need doctors on the Dolphins.
No, Dr. Doolittle.
Oh God. You need your last pick here with you need a money line dog.
Need a money line dog. Oh God. Did we touch the Rams-Niners game?
No, we have not.
I'll take the Rams on the money line there.
That's fair.
I hate it. I hate it because the Niners usually own the Rams, but maybe that win in the playoffs last year just put something in McVay's head. I don't like it, but there's not a lot of the other dogs I like here because I hate all these other teams. I'll take the best team remaining as my money line dog. I'll take the Rams.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. I think especially with Trent Williams out, this offense that's already kind of been bad.
Yeah.
I won't say bad, I'll say average for the sake of being nice, but they've been average and now you're losing the best left tackle in football. It should be a close game. Who knows? But that's probably the only other money line pick that you could have made.
I can't go against what I said and take the Broncos. Like I can't do it. I can't.
Because that's because like what I do for this is I write down 3 picks for like each thing. So if they get taken, I have a backup. Okay. The Broncos I did have listed because the Raiders are bad. Like the Raiders are 0-3. I don't think the Broncos are that bad. Well, whatever. This
is the battle.
That'll be an interesting game. That'll be an interesting game to talk about next week. But okay, my last pick, I need a spread favorite. Last pick I have down here because the other 2 games were taken. I'm going to go Browns -1.5 versus the Falcons. I don't like doing it. I do think the Falcons are pretty frisky. The line actually kind of scares me now because I just remembered that Myles Garrett just got in a really bad car accident. He is okay. So I don't know if he'll play Sunday. I think that would be fucking nuts if he was in a car that rolled over 7 times and then he plays football on Sunday. Obviously, I hope that he does now. I mean, I hope that he does anyways. But the Falcons are a bottom 10 team in football. The Browns have looked decent. They can still run the ball down your throat. I expect them to do the same. Their defense has been pretty good. So, I just expect them to be able to cover 2 points against the Falcons.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Brissett hasn't looked bad either.
No.
It's always tough going
and
with
I think
short road fave.
Yeah, I think that's also true. The Browns have had long rest now since the Thursday night game. But that's one thing about Brissett. I think that he left the Dolphins, and I think he's benefited from it too, being around an offense that actually knows what they're doing and not throwing to bums and having play calls that whatever. That was last year, on to better things. But the Browns are okay. They've -1.5. I'll take it. Don't like it, but I'll take it. So to recap, I have my favorite as Browns -1.5. My dog Dolphins +3.5 over 44 in Chargers Houston, under 50 in Seattle Detroit, and Buccaneers money line. You have Packers minus 10.5 versus the Pats, Titans plus 3.5, over 48.5 Jacksonville Philly, under 39 Bears Giants, and Rams money line. Okay, well, that'll do it. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I'll leave you with one last question here. The Bills still going to the Super Bowl? No doubt.
Yeah, fuck it, no doubt. Come on, this is it. This is the year. This is the year.
This is the year. There you go. There's the confidence that you need after a tough loss to the best team in football as of right now. So thanks again, Keegan. I'm sure I'll have you on back at some point during the season. But till then, thank you.
Peace.
Well, that'll do it for another episode of the Cover Zero podcast. Yeah, Thursday night football is a big one for the Dolphins this week. Really excited. Sad I can't watch it with a few of the boys because I know that we were definitely going out for that one. I still expect the Dolphins shit kicking regardless. As I kept saying with Keegan, these last weeks of games were kind of boring. Hopefully this week will be better. I'm expecting a lot of good things. It sucks to have the Bills-Ravens at 1 o'clock. That's a game that we didn't talk about, but that's the game of next week. Josh Allen versus Lamar, two leading MVP guys right now. So that should be a lot of fun. Lots of good games, lots of good division games this week. But yeah, until next time, like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow, all that good stuff. And until next time, peace.